Hi everyone, how you all doing? It's great to see all of you again. Oh, hold on a second. We see... I've decided to experiment with some background music. Let's just get it right, make sure it's not too loud. Let's drop that down a bit. Cool. Okay, let's paste it all in here as well. There we go. Alright, so this is going to be a little bit new, just putting some background music in there, just thought it would make things a little nicer. Alright, so we've got a lot of stories to be talking about. Let me see if I can move this camera further back a bit. I think it's a bit close for comfort. Oof, okay, so we've got a lot of stories to talk about here. Like, these are some really interesting stories. Some quite big developments have come round, which is interesting. So, we're only going to be doing a stream that's about an hour long, because, like I said, I'm trying to make sure these are more concise now. So, this way, when you decide to rewatch them, it'll be easier to rewatch, and they don't go on for hours and hours, or 2+ hours. Alright, so, Spider-Will is here, Rohan is here, Khan is here, the usual suspects. Let's see who else we got. We've got Crazy Cat Lady here, and Fireboy is also here, and Joshman is here as well. And he asks, "How are you doing today, Eric? Do you have an update regarding your upcoming Versus videos?" Yes, I do. I'm working on it. Literally, I was editing a Versus video before I even jumped onto this stream, so yeah, don't worry, I'm working on Versus videos. They're coming, so don't worry. I know it's been a few months, but the Versus videos are coming. I have been writing them, and I'm editing one right now for a movie that came out just recently. Khan says, as if he would ever allow the live stream to end in under 1 hour. Well, I said an hour, so let's see. Maybe I will, who knows? But you guys know, sometimes I just enjoy speaking to you guys too much that I stay on for longer. Joshman is going good with the Mortal Kombat Versus video. I'm also editing that as well. That's not going to be the next Versus video, but it might be the one after the next one. So I'm working on that as well. I've already started recording it. The script is mostly pretty much towards the end. It's pretty much done at this point. That's why I've already been recording them. So yeah, I'm doing all that and editing and all that stuff too. So don't worry, it's coming. Okay, so let's see. Fireboy is here, which is great to see as well. So yeah, great to see you guys. Okay, so we've got some really interesting stories coming around. We'll just wait for a few more people to jump onto the stream, and then we'll get to the stories. But yeah, some really interesting stuff, especially with the Batman story that I've got. Because I said Sebastian Stan might not be Two-Face, but there is a rumor going around that it might be someone else who will play Two-Face, and I'll tell you what that is and what my opinions on it are. Okay, so let's see here. Eric, are you going to be doing a video related to Toy Story 5? Because it's going to be coming out this upcoming weekend. I'll probably do a quick movie review of it, is what the plan is right now, is to do a quick movie review. So yeah, don't worry, I'll be covering Toy Story 5, but I don't think I'll be doing any Versus videos with it, because I've got Versus videos. You guys know Versus videos take a bit of time to do, and I don't think anyone really cares about Versus videos for Toy Story, so we'll keep it focused, is what we'll do. So yeah, let's see. Let's just quickly share it out. The stream, and then we can get started. share that out there. Alright. Okay, Anime says he's alive. Yes, he is. Let's see. Thoughts on Simple Plan? They did a Scooby-Doo song. I'm not sure. I've not. You guys know I'm not really. Thoughts on Simple Plan? They did a Scooby-Doo. You guys know I'm not really into songs too much. I don't really know much information on songs. Joey is here. Great to see you, Joey. I'm going to see Disclosure Day tonight. Can't wait. Oh, okay. Be sure to let me know what you what you think of the movie. I haven't seen it, and from what I've heard, a lot of mixed reviews. People seem to be disappointed with this as Spielberg's return to the alien, type of universe of movies. Anime says new background music. Yep, trying something new. Let me know what you think of the background music. Ooh. Okay, let's see. Have you seen have I watched Looney Tunes Back in Action, says Crazy Cat Lady. Yes, I have. I watched that movie when I was a kid many times. Loved it. I've been meaning to return to it and watch it again, purely for nostalgic reasons, but I've not seen that movie since I was a kid, so yeah, I have wanted to watch it again. I liked the Duck Dodgers segment in that film. And of course, Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck running away from Elmer, that was always fun when they brought that back. Anime says Disclosure Day was underwhelming for a Spielberg movie. That's kind of what I've heard all round from people. Greg says, I saw Disclosure Day yesterday and it was phenomenal. Now that I'm on summer break, I can be on these streams often. Oh, that's great. Great to see you It's great to see you'll be on these streams more often, Greg. Just so you know, we do a stream every week. We do one live stream on YouTube, and then the next week after that, we do a Discord video call where we all speak to each other and do watch parties and stuff. So if you want to join in on that fun every other week, then head on over to my Patreon and join the Discord family member perk, and you can be part of that. Oh, Greg says he knows the schedule. Okay, that's good then. Some people don't know the schedule still, so I have to repeat it. Okay. Alright, so let's move on to the stories. The second story is going to be something related to Batman that I'm not so... Oh, Greg is on the Discord. Okay, great. It sometimes just gets hard to keep track of all of you. There's a lot of you that I have to commit to memory. Sometimes I can easily forget, so apologies for that. Alright, so... The first thing we're going to be doing is talking about the Avengers story. The reason being is because the Batman story, that's going to be a big one. And so is the Avatar story, so we'll start with this. Okay, so what's going on with Avengers Doomsday? Well, for those of you that might not have been aware, the Spider-Man Brand New Day second trailer got leaked. It got leaked, and that was something that Sony were trying to plug up that leak, essentially. But the trailer got out there, people saw it, including moi. I actually saw the trailer just yesterday. I was just scrolling through. I wasn't even looking for it. I was on Threads, where you can follow me as well. And as I was scrolling through, I was like, is that the actual leaked Spider-Man trailer? So I went into it, and yep, the whole trailer was leaked. And I watched it. It wasn't great quality. It had a bunch of watermarks on it and everything. But it was still visible. I could still see what was going on. And surprisingly, the trailer doesn't really show you much. The trailer, surprisingly... It's very light on story. It's like the trailer does not give away much of anything of the story, and it makes me think there's two things. One, I'm happy that the trailer's not giving anything away, but two, does this movie even have anything really worthwhile going on? Is that why they're not giving us much in terms of not spoilers, but plot? I hope there's enough plot in there. Oh, hi Billy, great to see you back. Great to see you back. So anyway, yeah, what I was saying is that, yeah, the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer leaked, and there's even potential, like, rumors going around that a certain hacking group have the whole movie. Now, the movie is apparently unfinished, but they still have the whole movie, and apparently they're thinking about leaking it, which is, certainly interesting, for sure. But until we hear more about it, I'm not really going to worry about that kind of thing. I would recommend no one else worry about Spider-Man Brand New Day being leaked either until we hear more about it. Quite frankly, if it's going to be leaked, I'm surprised they haven't leaked it already. So that's one thing, which is very interesting. But yeah, now we get to the Avengers Doomsday leak. So what is the leak about Avengers Doomsday? Well, the leak is that there is one pivotal scene in the movie that has apparently been revealed. Now, the quality is so pixelated, it's such a terrible quality video, but I cannot show it to you here because if I show it, well, no YouTuber can show it basically, because otherwise they'll get in trouble. But I can describe what I saw from the leak. So, like I said, it was very pixelated, so you could barely see what was going on. And for some reason, the leaker idiotically decided to put his name, his username, all over it. And when that happened, Disney were able to flag that video and basically take that Twitter account down. So that is certainly interesting. So what an idiot that the leaker decided to actually put his name all over it. Alright, hold on a second. We've got a donation, so I've just got to write that down, as I always do. Okay, we got a donation from Kevin, and he's done a $5 super chat. Thank you very much for that, bud. So let's see, what is his question? He goes, what's your 2004 film recap on Dawn of the Dead, Hellboy, Van Helsing, Shrek, Garfield? Buddy, I feel like I should almost give you a limit in terms of these. You know what? I'll give you a proper answer, but I can't give you that proper answer right now because that's a lot of movies you've asked me for. So I'll circle back to it and I'll give you a proper answer with each one. Let's just finish this story off first. Okay, so I'll describe to you what the leaked scene was. Now, the leaked scene had a mix of Avengers and X-Men there at the scene. So, from what I could recognize from the scene, we had Mystique there, not Jennifer Lawrence, the Rebecca Romijn Mystique. We had Nightcrawler, who I didn't see, but I saw the purple smoke that happens when he teleports. I saw that. We have Cyclops there. We got Anthony Mackie, his Captain Falcon. We've got Chris Evans, Steve Rogers, and we've got Chris Hemsworth's Thor. Those are the 6 characters that I recognize. And we also had Shang-Chi in there as well, I think. And I think there might have been a couple others, but they were hard to really tell who they were. So we had basically a bunch of Avengers all jumping into like this small group. And around them is a bunch of Sentinels that Doctor Doom uses powers to wake up, essentially. And using his powers, they came up. And then you have Scott using his I-beam, like pressing the button. So he didn't take off his visor yet, like he did in the trailer. He's pressing the button and blasting some of the Sentinels, and they're all about to fight them. But like I said, the quality was so bad, it was hard to tell what was going on. So it's important to note that. But that's basically the clip. And apparently, if I bring up the article here, if you read the headline, it says, Avengers Doomsday leak allegedly reveals Doctor Doom's master plan that changes everything. So this is... Let me move this over here. So basically, this is Doctor Doom's plan, apparently, his big master plan. That's what the article says. I don't know if that really is his master plan. We will have to see. Maybe that's just round 1, and then his real master plan comes later. Who knows? But that's something that was apparently shown, and it looked unfinished, by the way. Like the special effects looked awful when they were like all the heroes were circling together. You could tell they were green screened in because it didn't look right. So you could tell that's what was going on right there, and that was cool. So yeah, it looked cool, but that's all we got. We got no context, no nothing. So it could be a cool action scene, but the story leading up to it could be bad for all we know. So you're not able to derive a full opinion from that, basically. But yeah, once I saw that, I was like, that does look pretty cool. And then the clip ends. Now, at first, people are thinking, is this a real clip or is this just AI? Because a lot of people have been putting fake clips out there. That was created with AI, and then they put it on a TV screen, and then they record it with their phones to make it look like it's some leak from, like, inside the company. They've been doing that a lot with Avengers Doomsday. But no, the fact that Disney pulled this tells you that this was actually real. This was some real leaked footage. Because they pulled it quick, is what they did, like, so quickly. But it's the internet, so I think they pulled it, like, 20 minutes after it was uploaded. But a lot of people... were able to get hold of it, and now if you look around, it's floating around the internet, but then it gets taken down, so then people have to put it back up. So yeah, the fact that Disney tried to get it pulled tells you that it was legit. So yeah, that's the news about the Avengers Doomsday scene leak, but it opens up a conversation about something much bigger. That being that Disney really do have, or Marvel really have, or just the industry in general, really has a leak problem. We had the Avatar movie leak that we talked about on one of these live streams previously. We've also got the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer leak, which has happened twice for their trailers. But now we're hearing the hackers have the entire movie. And on top of that, we've also heard that, along with the Avatar hack that's gone on recently with the movie, that the hackers are also wanting to upload the new TV series, I think Seven Havens or Seven Heavens. The hackers want to release that now as well. So it's like, okay, they're potentially going to leak that. We'll have to see what happens. And now we've got some leaks showing up with Avengers Doomsday. What is happening here? How is the industry getting all these leaks? And I also heard something like Sony have actually got a bigger hacking problem going on right now. So who knows what else will get leaked from their company. So it's a really strange thing that's happening. So much hacks are happening lately. I mean, I don't really care with some of them. Let's see. I Hear Anime says TADC. I don't know what TADC is. And Backrooms also got leaked. Oh, the Amazing Digital Circus. Is that what TADC is? Yeah, I've heard about that. And Backrooms got leaked too. How did Backrooms get leaked? I didn't hear about that one. But yeah, basically just goes to show that there's all these leaks going on. It is crazy insane. And for those of you that you might not remember, but the Minecraft movie also got a leak around the time the movie was released. It was a work print. So basically an unfinished cut of the movie was leaked. So yeah, interesting, isn't it? What's going on here? It's like just so bizarre. So yeah, we'll watch this space. I have a feeling we're going to hear more about these leaks in the coming days, maybe even the coming weeks. But there is something going on with all these leaks, so stay tuned for that. This is really interesting stuff. So let's see, have you guys got any questions about this story? About all these leaks before we move on to the next big story? Yeah, Hopeful Night, I mentioned the Avatar movie getting leaked. Yeah, that was a big leak. I mentioned that in one of my previous live streams, and I also mentioned it now as well. Kevin Feige is so pissed, and he's going to use a sniper to shoot those leakers, says Fireboy. Yeah, he probably will. I wonder, like, imagine if the hackers were able to leak something more important, like a pivotal scene. Like, what I've heard about, like, there have been some leaks in terms of, like, descriptions as to what is going to happen in Avengers Doomsday. And if someone actually leaks the opening of that movie, I have a feeling people are going to probably get really annoyed if they leak what happens in the opening. Because I think that the opening of Avengers Doomsday is going to be very controversial. Unless they've reshot it. We will have to wait and see. But when the movie comes out, I'll let you guys know what that scene is that I'm referring to. That I don't want to say to you because it'll be spoilers. Big Bash, how you doing, bud? It's great to see you. Spider-World says, I bet they leaked the whole Doomsday movie. Well, I don't think they've leaked the whole Doomsday movie. It's just a clip. Billy says, what's even the point? The leaks would have been better for Endgame or something. Endgame also was getting leaked too. Someone was putting out like chunks of the movie before it came out, and the Russos had to make a statement about it. What are your general thoughts on leak culture? Do you think it's going to lead to a negative impact within the internet further down the line? Not really, because I think people are still going to go see these movies. Now, when you look at leaks for something like, say, Avatar, the movie Avatar, where the whole thing got leaked, now that is damaging. That is damaging, and I can see the issue with that. But it's been perfectly fine so far, I think. In terms of, like, yeah, leaks happening is unfortunate. But people are still going to see the movies. Like, Spider-Man No Way Home got stuff leaked about it, but people went to still go see it. Made about, was it just under $2 billion? So, leaks happening are not good, but it depends on the severity of the leak as to whether or not it's going to have cause damage to the actual movie. So, that's what I would say about that. Let's see. When are they going to leak Kevin Feige's IP address, says Greg. Yeah, that's very, who knows, maybe, I don't think he has it on his IP address, but yeah, whatever it is, they found the motherlode. They found, like, where all this stuff is, and the hackers have basically gotten into those systems, and they've gotten a bunch of stuff. Oh, thanks, Big Bash. I'm glad you like the music in the background. Oh, just watched the World Cup, Big Bash. Okay. I do feel like Avengers Doomsday, Joshman's saying this, I do feel like Avengers Doomsday, what would easily cause damage is mainly the writing, the script, and just trying to be a very over-bloated mess. That very much could be an issue for the film. So yeah, that is very problematic. Jess says, oh hi Jess, says, I have faith for Avengers Doomsday because the Russo brothers haven't let us down ever since their previous Marvel movies. Yeah, let's hope so. Because the Russos had a bunch of previous movies that they could build off of. Marvel have nothing to build off of right now. You think that Avengers Doomsday is getting controversial? Supergirl is suffering the same way and people are not impressed with it. Well, Supergirl has not had the best PR in terms of some of the stuff that's been said about, you know, during the interviews. But also, it's just no one really cares about Supergirl as a movie. I think it was a wrong choice to make this film until, you know, this early on. I think that you're supposed to make a Supergirl movie once you have established DC as a strong brand that's in a very strong place. Right now, it's still in a questionable place, and to put a Supergirl movie out right now is not the best idea. I think they should have tried to do their own Batman, tried to do another Green Lantern movie, all this stuff. Oh, thanks, Rohan. I'm glad that you agree with Big Bash in terms of the music. And they can easily screw up with the CGI and the story, and you can tell that there was no build-up for Avengers Doomsday, says Joshman. Exactly. I completely agree. Okay, so before we move on to the next story, we're just going to quickly answer Kevin's question here. He says, what's my film recap on Dawn of the Dead? Dawn of the Dead, I really liked that movie. It's one of Zack Snyder's films that was very good. I like the intensity of it. The zombie baby was terrifying, but it's definitely one of the most iconic moments in any zombie movie, the zombie baby. I remember liking the characters too. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And I thought the movie was a bit oversaturated and a bit overly exposed with the whites in it. But overall, I remember liking that movie a lot, but I haven't seen it in a long time. Hellboy, I liked that movie a lot as a kid, but again, I have not seen it in such a long time. I can't really comment on it. But I did like the original first Hellboy movie, but I remember not liking Hellboy 2 all that much. Van Helsing, really loved Van Helsing. To me, that's another guilty pleasure type movie. There's a lot of people that don't like it, but I really do love it. It's a great fun action movie, and made by the guy that made Stephen Sommers, that made the Mummy movies with Brendan Fraser, the first 2 films at least. And he did a great job, I thought. Shrek, well, everyone loves Shrek. What else can I say about it? The first film is the best of all of them to me. Garfield, I remember liking the second movie better than the first, but I remember as a kid I did enjoy it. Harry Potter, well, yeah, I'm listening to the Harry Potter audiobook right now with the new Audible audiobooks. They're fantastic. I'm on book 6. I was listening to 4, 5, 6, and then 7. I didn't really care about listening to the first 3 because I think the movies got pretty close with those. But yeah, love the Harry Potter audiobooks. Spider-Man, yeah, Raimi Spider-Man movies, absolutely love them, particularly the first one. That's my favorite. Second one was really good too. Third one, I think, is underrated. It's not a great movie, but I think it's overhated and underrated. iRobot, love that film. Really was a good one. I watched it a lot during my childhood. I like the character of Sonny. But the unfortunate thing is, if you look into the story of the actor that played Sonny, Hollywood really screwed him over just because he tested better in the test screenings than Will Smith, and they saw that as a problem. So they basically took his name off, did not give him any interviews, and as far as anyone was concerned, they didn't know that he even performed as Sonny. So that was horrible of them, but he's getting some recognition now. Alien vs. Predator, I actually like the first Alien vs. Predator movie. I think it is overhated as well. It's a good fun movie, I think. Better than Freddy vs. Jason, you know. Shark Tale, really enjoy that movie. I saw it as a kid in the cinema with my dad. It was a really fun film. I really enjoyed it. I like the jokes in there and stuff. And the ugly fish stuff, I kind of didn't bother me like it did other people. Saw, love the first Saw movie, and I like the 6th one. The rest of them weren't really all that good. Some were terrible. Others were okay, but 1 and 6 were the genuinely good ones. Incredibles, I've done a versus video on The Incredibles, so watch that if you want to know my thoughts on it. And SpongeBob, I've never really been too much of a SpongeBob fan, but my my 2 brothers, they've loved SpongeBob, but I don't have anything against it either. Let's see, who's that? Chili says, hi Eric, how you doing? From Ireland. I'm doing good bud, and well, hello to you. Glad to have some people from Ireland over on this channel. That's great to see. All right, Kevin, there you go. I hope that you enjoyed that. Okay, so let's see. Has anyone else got anything to say before we move on to the next story? Big Bash, no, it's not a 2004 movie ranking, but Kevin did ask, for my 2004 film recap. Me too. I like Ren and Stimpy and Rocko's Modern Life better than SpongeBob. Yeah, a lot of stuff on Cartoon Network I liked better than SpongeBob. All right, moving on to the next story, and this one I hope is not true. Okay, now we've said that Sebastian Stan is going to be playing Harvey Dent Two-Face. As you can see right... Oops. Oh, I haven't got that image here. Oh, my bad. All right. But basically, we thought that Sebastian Stan was going to play Two-Face. And I said I have no problem with that, because Sebastian Stan is a chameleon of an actor. If you've watched him in a couple movies, I can't remember one of them what it was called, but he was basically a cannibal in it. There was that movie, I think it was called Fresh. So yeah, he was really good in that. He was also really good in a movie that Tom Holland was in on Netflix. And I can't remember the name of that movie too. It's escaped me. But if you just find out, Robert Pattinson's in it, Sebastian Stan is in it, and so is Tom Holland. It's an okay movie, but he was really good in it. Because Sebastian Stan, when he's in these movies, he looks just like Bucky. He's got the Bucky hairstyle. He's got the Bucky devil all the time. Thank you, Big Bash. That was it. The devil all the time. He always looks like this, what we see in this picture. But his acting is so good that you don't see you don't see Bucky in him at all, even though he's got the same hairdo and the same hairstyle and he's made up the same. You do not see Bucky in him one bit. Fresh, that was it, anime. So I thought he's a chameleon of an actor. So even though I thought at first I wouldn't like it, as soon as I saw him in Fresh, I was like, that settles it. He is such a good actor. I think he can play Two-Face, and I think he'll do a phenomenal job. And he has. Sorry, not with Two-Face, but he has done a phenomenal job with his other roles, and I have no doubt that he'll do a phenomenal job here as Two-Face. But there's been a rumor that's coming around recently from Jeff Snyder, who is a scooper who is very hit and miss. So take this with a grain of salt. He could be wrong, and I hope he's wrong. But he says that Sebastian Stan doesn't play Two-Face or Harvey Dent. Instead, he plays Victor Zsasz. Now, Victor Zsasz is a psychotic serial killer who, every time he kills someone, he marks himself with his, as you can see, with his knife on his body. He marks himself for every kill that he's done. And that's why you can see all those scars on him, all those cuts on him. They're all self-inflicted. He's done those himself. He is crazy. Hi, Itchy Joe. Thanks for joining the stream. So yeah, Victor Zsasz is crazy. And you have seen him in some of the movies briefly. He was in Batman Begins very briefly. But yeah, he's a really disturbed character. And he's shown himself a lot in this particular one, in the Batman Arkham games. And yeah, Batman beats the crap out of him, which is very funny. So yeah, there's... So basically, Jeff Snyder says that Sebastian Stan is going to play him instead. But this is weird, because Sebastian Stan has said that he's playing multiple roles in the Batman movie, Part 2. In the Batman Part 2. So how can he be playing multiple roles, but then be playing Zsasz, who's basically just one role? Unless Matt Reeves is going to do something different with the character, maybe give him multiple personality disorder. But when you say multiple personality disorder, the person you immediately think of is Two-Face, which is what they said, which is what the rumors were saying that Sebastian Stan was going to be playing. And Scarlett Johansson was going to be his wife, Gilda Dent, and he was going to be Harvey Dent, and he's got a father in there, Harvey Dent's father. So everyone thought that he was going to play Harvey Dent. But I really don't like what I'm about to tell you guys right here. But do you remember when I said Brian Tyree Henry is going to be playing Bullock, who was in the police force, someone who's a right a-hole and hates Batman? Well, it turns out the rumor is, according to him, is that Brian Tyree Henry is going to be playing Two-Face. Let that sink in for a second. Now, this actor, I've said, is a very good actor, and I've said I like him in everything he's in. He's very likable. So when I heard he's going to play Bullock, I was like, I don't know how that is going to work exactly, because Bullock is an a-hole, and I like Brian Tyree Henry and everything he's in. But I was like, okay, we'll have to see, I guess. But if he's gonna play Two-Face, honestly, I don't know what to say. I do not look at him and think Two-Face. Sebastian Stan sounds like it would be a great choice for a Two-Face, because he's like I said, a really good actor. But what the heck is this? Like, where did this come from? And I would be surprised if Matt Reeves actually went ahead with this. I've said that I trust Matt Reeves if he does race bends, because I think that he's a director that doesn't do it for pandering reasons. He does it because he's seen something in his actors. And I put trust in him when he cast Commissioner Gordon as a black person and also Catwoman as a black person. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna put trust in him, and that trust was very well placed. This, however, does not seem like it would be trust very well placed. Maybe he knows something that we don't. But certainly, I don't look at this actor and think, yep, that's Two-Face for you right there. And also, who the heck is Scarlett Johansson playing then? Because it seems like Gilda Dent is who Scarlett Johansson was going to be playing. So what, is Scarlett Johansson going to be his wife? Is that what it's supposed to be? Or is she even playing Gilda Dent? Are we just all wrong? This is bizarre. Now, I'm hoping that the leaker or scooper, Jeff Snyder, is wrong, and that he's just completely wrong is what I'm hoping, because this just seems quite wasteful to have Sebastian Stan play Victor Zsasz. That just seems very wasteful. And Matt Reeves has hinted at Harvey Dent Two-Face, like at the very end of the Batman Part 1. At the very end, there's no end credit scene, but there is a link that flashes on the screen. And when you put that link into your web browser, it takes you, I think there's a riddle, and then it takes you to a bunch of comics. One of the comics being a Two-Face comic, which made people think, oh, is Two-Face going to be in the Batman Part 2? So Two-Face, we know, is definitely in the Batman Part 2, but Sebastian Stan makes sense. He does not. So, what do you guys think about this? Tell me, like, he's not playing Bullock, but he's playing Two-Face. That does... I don't like this. Like, this just seems like weird casting. And it now feels like they're just race bending for the sake of race bending, and you know I don't like that. So let's see, what do you guys think? The Logman, it says, "Hi Eric, sorry I'm late." Don't worry, buddy. He goes, "I just saw Obsession and I loved it." Ooh, I'm glad you saw Obsession. That was a really good movie. Anime says, just switch to his phone. He goes, "My thought is, what the F?" Yep, indeed. Brian Tyree Henry voiced Jeff, Miles' dad, in the Spider-Verse films. Yeah, he did. That was very good. Big Bash says, Billy D. Williams played Harvey in the Burton movie, so Harvey has been black before. I'm aware of that. But the thing is, the actor that was Lando Calrissian. Was it Lando Calrissian, if I remember correctly? The actor that was going to play him. That made more sense. Like, I wasn't fully on board, but I was like, I can see the actor doing it. I cannot see this actor playing him, Brian Tyree Henry. I don't see him playing Two-Face. That just seems like such a weird casting choice. Sebastian Stan makes sense. I can even understand why he would play Bullock. I don't think he's a great choice for Bullock, because like I said, he's too likable, and Bullock is just a grade A asshole. But I was like, I can see it, I think, if they want to do that. But I don't see it with Sebastian Stan, man. I really don't. Sorry, I don't see it him playing Two-Face, man. I really don't. Spider-World says, hopefully Jeff is just making up bullshit. I agree. Completely agree. Rohan says, I like Brian Tyree Henry, but I do not think he would fit the role of Two-Face, but I hope Matt Reeves or James Gunn debunk this rumor. I don't think they're going to. I think they're just going to let people sit with it until they confirm stuff when they want to. That's what I think is going to happen. That bald guy looks like Deadpool from X-Men Origins Wolverine. He does a little bit, doesn't he? If you just look at the shape of him, especially the shape of his head, looks more like Deadpool shaped. Yeah, I guess so. I don't even want Two-Face as the villain. I wanted somebody new like Mr. Freeze, said Big Bash. Yeah, but I think Mr. Freeze would be better if he was a fantastical villain, but it looks like Matt Reeves is trying to keep everything more grounded. Do you think Matt Reeves could bend to execs' pressure or decisions? I think Matt Reeves is very collaborative based on what he has said, if you watch interviews where he talks about working with executives. But I think the executives would actually let him cast who he wants, especially given how much time they've given him to to complete the script. They've given him many years, and I think that they would only give someone that amount of time if they have trust in them. So I'm sure they have trust in Matt Reeves. That they're saying is that they're like, it's okay if you take this long to make the script. If you want to cast who you want to cast, I'm sure they're okay with it. And quite frankly, if they've not told them to recast Snape from Harry Potter, which is also a miscast with a race-bended character, then, you know, I think they're just... I don't know, they just seem a bit off the ball with casting Warner Brothers, don't they? Jeff Snyder is not liked by many YouTubers. He always have a bullshit leak or lie. That's why I said, I hope it's not true. I hope it is just a lie, but this is the recent rumor that's been going around. G-Gamer says, which is coming out first, GTA 6 or Batman Part 2? Predict. I think, if I had to guess, I bet you GTA 6 would probably get delayed again. But I'm going to say hopefully not, because I know people don't want it to get delayed. So I think they will actually release it this November, because it's right close to Christmas too, so yeah. Harry's dad just looks racist now. Well, he will, won't he? With the stuff he says. So yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts on this. Itchy Joe has done a $5 super chat. He says, I just got back from Disclosure Day. I'm incredibly shocked to say it's my favorite movie of the year. Wow, whoa. Yeah, he goes, yes, even better than Obsession. Wow. That is high praise indeed. I'm glad you enjoyed the movie, bud. Anime says, agree to disagree. Yeah, I've not seen the movie, so I can't say, but yeah, I've heard a lot of people not liking it. Good Use Productions says the Harry Potter show could be really good. After all, a remake was inevitable, but I think the first film is one of the best British children's films of all time. They've got a lot to live it. Yeah, they do, for sure. So yeah, this is basically potentially what's happening. It's unfortunate, very unfortunate. So any more questions before we move on to the next story? Billy says, could the killer character even relevant enough to be interpreted by someone like Sebastian? I don't know. We'll have to see what they intend to do with it. It's hard to say. Mr. Mouse says, Eric, I know you hate the MCU so much. Can you do something like the positives of the MCU? Have you not watched my Daredevil Born Again Season 2 Let's Watch reactions recently? I have been very positive. Check that out if you want to see me being more positive. In fact, I've also done, in my the Versus video I'm editing right now, I even have a bit where I actually compliment something in the MCU. So, stay tuned. I've got some positive stuff to say about the MCU too. It's not like I actively go out of the way to hate the MCU, but you gotta admit, to a lot of people, they've actually been going to a downward slump. Even people that have really liked the stuff that Marvel have been doing. Sebastian Stan looks more like Two-Face. Yeah, he does. And when I look at both of their faces, I think the Two-Face effect looks like it would be a lot cooler on Sebastian Stan's face. Like, just the shape of his head and how much hair he has. It'll be a great contrast with when the other side, half of his face is burnt off and there is no hair on the top. Noah says, Billy says, my favorite review is the Hawkeye show. You mean my Let's Binge Watch Hawkeye show? Yeah, I haven't seen that in a long time. I should probably give that a watch myself, that Let's Binge Watch video. Noah says, I mean, Jeff Snyder was the first who broke the news of Sebastian Stan and Scarlett Johansson being cast in the Batman Part 2, so he has some credit in the bank when it comes to the Batman. Was that him that confirmed that? That's why I've said he's got some stuff that is true and some stuff that isn't. So it's hard to say, you know. That's why I'm not completely discounting it, and it's why I'm actually covering it here. Yeah, I hated the gender swap in the Cape Crusader as well. If you don't like the gender swap in the Batman Cape Crusader show, apparently in the season 2, they've gender bent the Mad Hatter. So, yeah, they're at it again. I'm debating whether I should watch Batman 2 in IMAX or 4DX. I think it's very early to say, anime. You have to wait to see some trailers and see what your hype level is like once, you know, the marketing gets going. Who do you think is more of a reliable source, says Mr. Mouse. Who's the source? The person that always leaks stuff a lot, and I've talked about him before. He's a much better leaker. I'm blanking on his name. But there is a leaker out there. Daniel... Was it Daniel 2K or something? What was his name? But I've referenced him before. He's a much better leaker who normally gets stuff right a lot more time. Daniel RPK, that was it. Thank you, Big Bash. Daniel RPK is a much more reliable scooper. Thank you too, Mr. Mouse. Much more reliable scooper where the stuff he said has turned out to be true far more. So he clearly has a more of a reliable sort of like through line of information than other people do. Itchy Joe says, don't know what I liked so much about it. I think it was because I was so invested in the mystery and thought for pacing was great. John Williams' score is one of his best recently. The ending is... Yeah, the ending I've heard is not... I've heard the ending is very abrupt for Spielberg's new movie, Disclosure Day. G-Gamer says, leakers showing up more often to leak stuff makes me wonder how the security is for these major studios like Paramount or Warner Brothers. Well, those two might end up being the same, won't they, soon? So we'll have to wait and see what goes on there. Yeah, I wasn't the big fan of the ending. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people aren't. Joshman says, Eric, did you state that Batman Cape Crusader Season 2 is going to have another gender swap? Because I hate that they're doing that for Season 2. Yes, it will. Apparently, Mad Hatter is gender swapped into a woman. The brand new Day Trailer 2 got leaked and saw it on Twitter, says Big Bash. Yep, I saw it on Threads, is where I saw it. Who's your favorite director and movie, non-superhero movie related? Well, ask me that during the Q&A, not right now. Yeah, I do remember when GTA 6 got leaked. Yeah, GTA 6 got some stuff leaked too, didn't it? Like I said, leaks are everywhere. So yeah, that's basically the news going on there. It's not good, like, at all. Anyway, let's move on to our next story. Oh, and I think now I've spoiled the surprise right here. Let's just pretend you haven't seen that. Alright, so, for those of you that are not aware, the Avatar Legend of Aang movie got leaked. It got leaked, and people were not happy with that. By people, I mean the fans. The fans were not happy because, of course, they wanted to see it in theaters, but then when the Ellisons came in, they says, no, we're going to dump it on Paramount Plus. And the movie was supposed to come out in October, but instead it got leaked about 2-3 months ago. Months ahead of its actual release, so we didn't even get any proper marketing, and the whole movie got leaked online, which was such a shame, and like 10 to 15 million people have seen it at this point. So that is a real shame that we didn't get to all watch it together, get interviews of it and all that stuff. So it's a big shame. However, things for Avatar have only gotten worse, not only because the hackers have said that they're also going to release the Seven Havens show, which is what they're also working on, the creators of Avatar, but now we've got Paramount that have basically said that they've cancelled the AAA RPG game of Avatar. So when that happened, people were like, what is happening with the Avatar brand? Like, seriously, what is going on? It's like Avatar as a brand, it's like we had Avatar Studios. It was meant to be so exciting. We were going to get so much more Avatar projects, but now they're either getting leaked or they're going to be getting cancelled, or like, what's going on? And everyone's like, it's the Ellisons. They don't care about Avatar. They tried to throw it onto streaming after it was supposed to have a theatrical release. So that's what's basically happened. And the actor right here, Greg Baldwin, who plays Uncle Iroh, who was the replacement voice actor once Marco had passed away, and has been voicing Iroh ever since, he has said some very blunt and choice words for Paramount and their current leadership. And I'm just going to basically read out to you what he said. He says, "Hard truth. I can speak freely because I'm 65 years old and my pocket full of Fs is seriously depleted. Working as a paralegal at various studios in LA for 30 years, I had the opportunity to observe studio executives closely. They're generally a slippery and clueless bunch who shouldn't be allowed anywhere near anything remotely creative. But the new regime at Paramount is straight up evil. I assure you, these soulless bastards have nothing but contempt for a show about grace and redemption and the struggle against fascism. Avatar: The Last Airbender is a mystery to them. They do not value the franchise." That was his first tweet. He continues, "Nickelodeon will never hire me again anyway, so why not drop a truth bomb? I reiterate, Paramount doesn't care about Avatar: The Last Airbender. Riddle me," and he goes on, "riddle me this. What's an acceptable use of AI? Who should lose their jobs to AI? Answer, studio executives." And then he says this, "Ironically, these cockroaches will be the last to go." And then he give me a second. And then he did this. He posted this as his final thing. Wow, those are... Hi, Cole. Those are some very direct words that he has said. And quite frankly, we've all known this. About when he says that... First of all, what I didn't know was that he worked as a paralegal for 30 years. That was actually surprising to find out. But when he says that studio executives are generally a slippery and clueless bunch who shouldn't be allowed near anything remotely creative, that is something that we have all known about studio executives. Studio executives are clueless. Even George Lucas for years has described studio executives and saying that they are not the most sophisticated of people. And he goes, "And I'm dumb." So if you watch George Lucas, he has constantly talked about studio executives and how clueless they are, and how he wanted to get out of the business of working for studio executives. That's why he ended up making Star Wars the way he did, and how he ended up owning that, and then he was able to make the prequel movies the way he wanted, and then the Clone Wars series the way he wanted. You know, George Lucas was very, as Big Bash said, kindly roasted them. Yeah, he has he was very politely roasting them, even though he had a bit of edge in there. So, everything Greg Baldwin is saying is stuff that I think we all agree with, but he has got more behind-the-scenes knowledge as to what they're like. I'm sure he can tell us stories about what he has seen and heard. So yeah, he's especially referring to the Ellisons when he goes, the new regime at Paramount is straight up evil. He's talking about the Ellisons, which they are. I've told you that everything they're doing, the reason they want to buy Warner Brothers and everything, is just so they can further their own propaganda for, like, that Benjamin Netanyahu, who I think is dead now. Basically, he did it as a favor for him, because he says that we want to control TikTok, and they bought TikTok. We want to make propaganda films, then they bought Paramount, and they're trying to buy now Warner Brothers. So when he says these soulless bastards have nothing but contempt for a show about grace and redemption and the struggle against fascism, Avatar: The Last Airbender is a mystery to them. I have no doubt about that. In fact, I thought that myself the whole time, and he's basically just come out and said it. And it's true. So this is very, very interesting that he was willing to just come out the way he did, very bluntly, and say everything he said. Now, there is something interesting where I wouldn't say you could counter it and say it's not true, because I think we all know it is true. But one of the creators of Avatar, let's get it up here. I'll get his tweets up here. One of the creators of Avatar basically posted this on his Instagram. It's a picture of Zuko, and he's got a nice long post where he describes what this image is about. This is Brian, the creator, right here. Now, I'm going to just read what he has written right here. So, He says, here is the book cover inside, blah, 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 blah. This is basically him talking about the art he made. He goes, this doubles as an illustration of me behind the scenes every day, working on new Avatar content, fighting for the Avatar franchise, dealing with messes left over by thieves, meaning the hackers. And then he says, now this is where things get interesting. He goes, not always at liberty to air our business and my grievances on social media. Despite what anyone without actual knowledge may be chirping about, that big video game, he's referring to the cancelled video game, that big video game, the premise of which I came up with, wasn't cancelled. Did it experience a big setback? Yep. These things are not easy. None of this is. Will it ever happen? Hopefully. Will it be better because of the reset? If I have anything to do with it, most definitely. Is that all frustrating for you and me? Yep. But if you can ignore the chatter and hang in there a bit longer, we'll have lots of official news to share soon. And this is where it gets interesting. Hope to see you at San Diego Comic-Con, friends. Lots of love. Now, this is an answer to something that I had, which is once the Avatar movie got leaked worldwide for everyone to see, I was like, how sad is it going to be that these guys are going to have to go to Comic-Con knowing that people have already seen their movie? Normally when people go to Comic-Con and advertise their film, they know no one's seen it yet. But the fact now that everyone will have already seen it when they're there, I can't imagine that's a good feeling, especially for people that have worked years and have wanted to reveal it on their own terms. So a lot of us were wondering, will they even be at Comic-Con? Like, will Paramount just say, we're not even going to give you a panel at Comic-Con? But the fact that he goes, that we'll see you at San Diego, hope to see you at San Diego Comic-Con, I think that means pretty much that means that they're going to be at Comic-Con. And I want to know everything. I want to see that panel. That's the first panel I'm going to want to see. I don't care if the Batman Part 2 shows up at that panel. I want to see this panel, and I want to know exactly what's going on, or what they have to say, because they've been very silent about the hack. This is the first time we've actually heard anything from them post-hack. So, I'm very curious to see what they're going to say. So I'm going to be watching very closely when that Comic-Con panel happens, which should be next month. So he goes, hope to see you soon. I hope that means that they already got it booked and that they're going to be showing up at Comic-Con. I hope it doesn't mean that they're not going to be at Comic-Con and they're hoping that they see us there. So that's what I hope. So yeah, he goes, lots of love, Brian, of course. What is that image? I'm just looking. There's one image in the center that looks a bit not the most happy. It just looks a bit medium. Or is he just using emojis to describe the image he just drew, maybe? So yeah, Big Bash says, I feel so bad. Yeah, we all feel bad for it, especially because it's a franchise that we all love. So yeah, this really is a shame that this is happening. But yeah, that's what they said. And now it's just a matter of waiting. Paramount basically on, like, first of all, I want to know how much, when he says that there's stuff that people don't know, is he also referring to the actor Greg Baldwin who put those tweets out, or is he just talking about other chatter that people have talked about? Because I think that Greg Baldwin is very clear and blunt and honest about what he said about Paramount, quite frankly, and I think that Brian and them would probably agree with what he said. But yeah, Netflix has not treated them well. Netflix had freaking creative differences with them over the Avatar show. Even though it was their freaking show, they had creative differences with the creators, which is so stupid. And then yeah, all this has happened as well under Paramount. It is just bad, and it's a property, it's an IP that is so valuable, but it's a shame that it's basically been handed to the studio system, who has no idea what to do with it. So I feel very bad that the studio owns Avatar. I wish, just like how George Lucas used to own Star Wars, I really wish that these two could own Avatar, because, you know, I feel like we would get a much better franchise if it was in their hands as opposed to the studio system. So that's not good. So what do you guys think about that? Big Bash says, imagine if Cartoon Network owned Avatar. More people would have seen it. I would have seen it during my childhood too, but instead I saw it in my teens. The IP has so much potential. Hopefully this doesn't set it back, because I want to see more from this world. I agree, G-Gamer. I really do. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to jump on to the next story. Oh, hi, Trevor. It's great to see you, bud. Well, moving on to the last story. Big Bash's Avatar has always been cursed by Nickelodeon, and now it's being cursed by Paramount. Yes, it is. And it was also cursed by Netflix, because they were not good to the creators in the first season. Apparently the same leaker who leaked the movie has access to the episodes of the new sequel show. Yep, he does, which is unfortunate. Dark Lord of the Sith says, I'm just annoyed studios make shit choices when they could make trillions. Well, yeah, they could make billions, for sure. Don't know about trillions, though. But maybe overall they could make trillions, you know, if they were good just all around with these franchises. With all these franchises. Alright, last final story is just a bonus. Something to end on a high with after all that doom and gloom. We've got set photos of Man of Tomorrow, which is shooting right now. And you might notice we've got our Superman right here and Lex Luthor in his robotic suit that he, in the comics, he used to fight Superman with. Now, we've got some additional photos here. We've got a close-up photo of Lex, and we've got a close-up photo of Superman, who looks like he has just engaged in a battle. Most likely with Lex Luthor. I wonder if he's fired some kryptonite beams at Superman's chest or something. But let's make the Lex Luthor picture bigger. And you can see they've given him a practical suit. Now, lighting-wise, it looks like a very good suit, but color-wise, the color of the suit looks a bit CW to me. It looks a bit too plasticky and cheap. Hopefully, when they color correct it and we see it in the final movie, it looks great. But that's what I think about his costume, but it is very comics accurate. I'll give him that. And then we have Superman here. And like I said, you can see his chest, where it looks like he's really... gotten a blast there. And that's, the costume itself looks exactly identical though, which is a bit of a shame. I would have liked some kind of an upgrade with the costume, but it doesn't look like we've got it. Now, here is, another picture, which I'll show you right now. Here we go. And you can see that, Lex Luthor is holding a gun. It's a really chunky looking gun though, is it? So I wonder if that is what he shoots Superman's chest with, which leads to that burn mark that he's got right there. So maybe that's what it is. But yeah, you can see they're shooting the movie. I'm sure we'll get maybe a teaser this year sometime, because the movie's going to come out next year, like in the middle of next year. So yeah, they're shooting this thing right now. Hopefully it's good, because you guys know that I liked the first Superman movie, but I didn't like it the first time I saw it. I thought it was just okay. Second time I saw it, I liked it better. But I have not seen the movie again since I made that Versus video. That should tell you something. The fact I never felt like going back to it again. So it is... they're shooting another one. Hopefully it's good, but I don't know. I feel like James Gunn's version of Superman is not a slam dunk like what, say, Matt Reeves' Batman movie was. So with that said, what do you guys think of this image? These set photos. There was a video of the two fighting, which was actually pretty cool. And that was something which was... I actually thought that looked pretty cool, but I couldn't bring a video onto this stream right here. It's just images. Lex looks like himself, says the Dark Lord of the Sith. Yeah, he does. I will say Superman, it looks like they've changed his hairstyle a little bit. He looks a little bit more manly, Superman does. He looks a bit more manly with the curls on his hair and everything. Like, yeah, it looks like they gave him a new hairstyle. So it looks like he's a bit more of an older Superman. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. He looks a bit older. No, Big Bash, he looked manly in the first one, but he looks more manly now. In the first one, he looked like they tried to show he was still a bit young, because James Gunn did say this was like an earlier Superman. So... he definitely acted like a younger Superman. So they tried to make him look manly, but not as manly. But now it's like they're trying to say... I think they said 2 years have gone by, like it's the sequel has gone by in real time. So they've tried to make him look a bit like more manly now. So yeah, hopefully they do a good job. Love Grizzly Polar Bear says, hello everyone. Just playing some Roblox. Didn't realize Eric would be live today. If I did, then I wouldn't go on Roblox then. Yeah, next time I'll let you guys know ahead of time. I didn't ask you guys yesterday what stories do you want me to cover, because I already knew what stories I wanted to cover. It was these stories. But next time I'll still make an announcement the day before and let you guys know. Trevor says, I'm liking that they made the suit practical rather than make it CGI. I agree. I like that they made it practical too. Because you know if it was Marvel that they would have gone all CG with it. So yeah, I like that they made it more practical too. Alright, so questions about this. Have you guys got anything else you want to say before we move on to the Q&A? I like the practical suit on Lex Luthor as well, says Josh, man. There's technically a sequel for each Superman. Oh yeah, G-Gamer, that's actually not bad. There's technically a sequel for each Superman to do a versus video of Superman. Superman 2 versus Batman versus Superman versus James Gunn's Superman 2. Yeah, I guess so. Oh, Superman 2 versus Batman versus Superman versus James Gunn Superman 2. I don't want to do a three-way versus video like that, I don't think. That, I don't know, that just sounds like it's... I don't know, I need to think about it, really, actually. Because Batman vs. Superman technically is Superman 2, even though it doesn't feel like Superman 2. It is, isn't it? It's supposed to be Superman 2. We'll have to think about it closer to the time, but yeah. I'll definitely try to probably compare it with the original Superman 2. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I probably will do that, actually, Batman vs. Superman, but putting Batman in there, Wonder Woman as well, in a Superman comparison, not quite so great. But I guess I'll minimize talking about the Batman and Wonder Woman, so maybe there's that. Quest for Peace is a masterpiece. Don't even joke about that, Big Bash. Alright then, so Q&A. We'll do a Q&A for about 5 minutes, and well, 6 minutes, and then I'm out of here. So drop your questions. Any super chats or Streamlabs chats are greatly appreciated, because like I said, it helps support the channel. So yeah, go. Spiderwell says, if it was Marvel, it would be CGI. Yes, it would be. Who's your favorite Spider-Man villain? My favorite Spider-Man villain? That's a tricky one. Purely based on the movies and stuff, I'll say Green Goblin. I think that was a great villain. Especially the Jekyll and Hyde stuff he was going through. Anime says, are you going to check out The Furious? We watched the trailer for it on Discord a while ago. I'll try to. Right now I've got other stuff to watch. I literally just watched... Oh, hang on. Oh, good, the background music is not too loud. Good. I literally just watched Ready or Not 2 yesterday, and I had a fun time with it. Wasn't as good as the first film, but it was still an enjoyable film. Samara Weaving was really good in it. I did not like her sister in it, who was played by Catherine Newton, who was in Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania. She was also in Abigail, and she was in Detective Pikachu, which I did a versus video of as well. She was not good in it, because she's going through this as well, just like her sister. You know, people trying to kill him, and yet she's not scared at all. She just talks like normal, like that, like she's not scared. And I was like, come on, you should be scared, because this is the first time you're going through something like this. Samara Weaving's character is going through this a second time, and she's terrified the whole way through. Catherine Newton isn't, and you could tell that she was just completely miscast, and she wasn't directed properly. Oh god, Aquafina, Big Bash, no way. Eric, if you were forced to choose, what would you watch? Batman and Robin or Quest for Peace? Probably Batman and Robin, just because, I don't know, I'd probably try to laugh at it. I'd be crying on the inside, but I'd be just trying to laugh at it on the outside. Eric, are you looking forward to the new Supergirl movie? That's going to be coming out in a few weeks, because I haven't really been too excited about it. I totally forgot it was coming out. Yeah, I am not excited about it, but I'll watch it when it comes out. That's the mood I'm in, which doesn't spell good stuff for the movie. And I've said this last time, but I said I don't even think James Gunn is... I think he's even kind of lost hype for this movie, because he's advertising and showing set photos of Man of Tomorrow when he should be trying to advertise Supergirl. But the fact that he's advertising his next project kind of tells me that he's not too much into this project himself, which is interesting. So we'll see how it is. I'm curious to see what the reviews and what everyone says about the film. Because Supergirl, whether we like it or not, is going to be in Man of Tomorrow. So, yeah, there's that. I'm also waiting for the Steam Machine, by the way. Separate thing altogether. I'm waiting for the Steam Machine to be announced this month as well. So that's also something that's going to happen. If that is at a good price and I buy it, I will actually try to do more gaming streams as well. So, yeah, here's hoping that it is priced right for that kind of thing. So let's see. My top 5 of the year so far is Disclosure Day, Obsession, Project Hail Mary, Backrooms, and Exit 8. Ooh. Dark Lord Sif says, did you finish Spider-Man Noir? I did and really like it. I've still only seen 2 episodes. I need to watch the rest. Are you going to stream the James Bond game? Says Anime. If I can get hold of the Steam Machine, because apparently the price is going to be higher due to the RAM crisis and storage crisis, and the fact Valve did not navigate the whole current market conditions very well. Like, apparently they could have navigated it better, but they didn't. So the price might be quite expensive. So that's why I say, if you got your donations really go a long way. So if I get enough donations in that time, then yes, I will. And through that, I'll be able to then, like I said, create more content for you guys. So whatever you guys put into the channel, it helps me make more content. So that's always the plus side for that. By the way, just wanting to know, my review is going to be next week for all commissions. Just wanted to make sure. G-Gamer, yes, your review will be next. Out of all the commissions, yes. In terms of, like, on this YouTube channel, like, dedicated reviews, yes, it will be, yours will be next. Don't worry about that. Zaz was also in Gotham. Yeah, I've not watched Gotham, though, but I know he was in Gotham. I watched my first ever Dolby movie at the Disney Theatre the other day for He-Man. It was a mid-movie, but fun experience. This theatre was filled with the Man fans. No, let me say that again. It was a mid-movie, but fun experience. This theatre was filled with He-Man fans. Yeah. Big Bash says, what are your thoughts on the Ben 10 Dynamite comic, Eric? I've not read the Dynamite comic. I am aware of it, though. And I hope it does well. If it does well, it means, who knows, we might get more Ben 10 content. And no, I'm not talking about Tom Holland starring as Ben 10, which I think I heard a while back the studio was actually discussing that. Or if it was fans, I can't remember now. It's been a while, but no, hopefully that's not what they're doing. Dark Lord says, do you finally see Maul Shadowlord yet? I want to rant about how great I thought it was to you in spoiler-filled detail. I still not seen a single episode. I'm trying to get through Spider-Man Noir. I finished The Boys and Gen V. I've watched a movie of Ready or Not. I still haven't seen Project Hail Mary. I still haven't seen, what was it? Arcane Season 2. I've got a lot of shows still to see. And now we've got a lot of movies coming out this summer. So I know you want to rant about, rant about it and talk about it. Trust me, I know how much people want to talk about Star Wars, the Clone Wars stuff. You know, those animated series are really good. But you're going to have to hold on for longer. I still haven't seen it. And it's harder to get to watch it because I normally watch those on my projector, but it's hard to do that in the attic in this summer heat. So I'm going to try to. And I've also got a lot of videos to edit typically too. So I'm going to try to. Don't worry. Eric and Love Grizzly Polar Bear says, Eric, nice. I like the nice background music. Oh, thanks. I tried something. Thought let's try something different here, and I'm glad you like it. I put this music in the background of my Patreon videos too. When you watch my Let's Watches and stuff, I put this in the background of those as well. And also, did you see what Scooby-Doo's going to look like in Netflix? Yes, I did. Looks like a normal dog, and people are not happy. Eric, what do you think is something that the Harry Potter movies do better than the book? The movies do better than the book. I will say I like Sirius better in the movies than in the book. In the book, he's always kind of a bit more disgruntled, shall we say, and messy. But in the fifth movie, they cleaned him up, and he looked more like a gentleman, and he looked all cleaned up, and he was cooler. Like, you could see the fun element of why he's Harry's godfather, the fun side, the more affectionate side, and some of that was definitely in the book as well. But underneath it all, he was still very disgruntled from, living in Azkaban for so long. So yeah, and then he never liked the fact that he was in hiding either, so that was something that also put him in a bit of a bad mood. So he was always nice and good to Harry, but it felt like I like what Gary Oldman did better with that version of Sirius, and so yeah, I'd prefer that. I'd say that's one of the things. But yeah, right now I'm listening to the 6th audiobook for the 6th book, and there are flashbacks in the pensieve that Dumbledore shows Harry that they completely cut from the movie. I already knew they cut a bunch, but there is so much more they cut that I'm surprised they cut. In exchange, they did it just so they could show freaking love triangle shit in the movie. It was in the book too, that love triangle shit, but man, they really put it under the microscope in the movie, and they gave it a lot of time, which was so stupid. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Okay, one more minute, guys, then we're gonna sign off. So, any more questions you guys have? Big Bash says Gary Oldman did an amazing job. He did. I was listening to the Lily Potter theme from Deathly Hallows Part 2 all day, and it still brings me to tears, says Big Bash. Yeah, that's a great theme, that is. A little bit Bollywood-like, a little bit, the way it starts out, it reminds me of. I like John Williams' Harry Potter themes, though, that he did in the first 3, especially the Prisoner of Azkaban. That was like a rebooted soundtrack, all completely new themes, with just the Harry Potter theme being the same theme from the previous 2 films. But the rest of that was an amazing soundtrack where he completely changed it. I love when Sirius rides off with Buckbeak. The music that plays during that scene was beautiful. The Patronus theme was also fantastic. Itchy Joe says, could you imagine they show the trailer for the next Demon Slayer movie at next year's Super Bowl? Yeah, could you imagine? And that will probably get more talk than any of the Hollywood trailers if they did that. Grizzly Polar Bear says, does anyone agree with me that DC has the better villains and Marvel has the better heroes? Eric, which one do you of the Disney live-action remakes do you think is the best one? Probably The Jungle Book is the best live-action remakes, from what I've seen. Does anyone agree with me that DC has the better villains and Marvel has the best heroes? Nah, I think it's mixed. They got their good villains and they've got their bad villains. They've got their good heroes and their not-so-good heroes. Some are better than others. It's mixed. But purely just for Batman, I usually say DC wins just because Batman's the best hero and he's got the best villains. But objectively, I'd say it's more even. Like, it's different. It's not just as simple as comparing it to that. Big Bash, yeah, Dumbledore's death was sad, but I think it was sadder in the books. It was pretty sad in the movie, but the way that the books did it was so much more shocking. I saw that film on a 2nd grade field trip in 2015. Cinderella remake. Okay, interesting. All right, guys, I think that's it. I think that minute is up. So I had a wonderful time chatting with all of you. Oh, there's 20 of you. I didn't know that there's quite a few of you guys still here. You know what? I'll give you guys until 1 hour and 20 minutes. So that's less than 4 minutes left of the stream. Then we'll call it quits. So go on. I'll let you guys ask more questions in that case. I strongly disagree with you on The Jungle Book. It's not better than the original. I didn't say it was better than the original. What did you ask me? Which ones do you think of Disney live remakes do you think is the best one? That's not what you asked me. You asked, Love Grizzly Polar Bear. You said which of the Disney live action remakes do you think is the best one? You never says which one is better than the animated movies. If you asked me that, I would not give you an answer because there is none. But you asked me a very different question, the way you phrased it. Yeah, you says which of the Disney live action remakes do you think is the best one? You didn't say which one is better than the animated originals. I recently bought the Shining novel and I really like it so far. It's an easier read than it. Easier read. Okay, easier read than it. Oh, that's good because the movie is quite slow. You'd think that the book would be quite slow too. Even the miniseries is quite slow. Love Grizzly Polar Bear, believe it or not, I've not seen the original Jungle Book. I always wanted to as a kid, but it's one of the movies we never got. We never got Sleeping Beauty either, or Snow White. But Snow White we got a lot later, and my younger brother was kind of into it at that point. But yeah, I've not seen Sleeping Beauty or the original Jungle Book. Eric Carter, have you thought about doing a ranking video on all the Toy Story movies? This includes the spin-off Lightyear. Maybe I could. That actually could be... that actually sounds like it could be a cool idea. I'll try. I'll look into more ranking videos because I do want to do more. Grizzly Polar Bear says, "Sorry, Eric. That sounds like me being idiot. Don't worry. It's okay." But yeah, like I said, I've not seen the original Jungle Book, so I can't say. See you, Eric. See you in your future reviews and versus videos. Thank you, Raymond. Take care, and thanks for joining the stream. Itchy Joe says, "Nice, Big Bash. I just started Pet Sematary, the book, and I'm also enjoying it." Ah, got a lot of Stephen King fans here, which is hardly surprising. He's got a lot of good books. One question before I go. Going into Toy Story 5, based on everything, what do you expect? I'm expecting a good movie. Not a great movie, but a good one. That's what I'm expecting. I don't know if they're going to bring out the tears. I guess we'll have to wait and see if they're going to bring the tears out. I don't know. Grizzly Polar Bear says, "I'm in the middle of the original Aladdin at my friend's house. I need to go back and finish." Yeah, you need to see the whole movie. It's like one of the great Disney movies to me. Definitely top 5, Aladdin is. Eric, I've seen your review on Twilight of the Gods, and I know you hated that show. And the over-bloated amount of sex scenes and nudity is so downright disgusting. Yeah, it was. Have you read any Stephen King books yourself, Eric? And if you have, which did you like the most? No, I've not. Believe it or not, I've actually not read Stephen King books. I've read some of Carrie, I remember, out of curiosity, but I've not read his books, no. Although I have been listening to the audiobook of Carrie, read by Sissy Spacek, actually. I haven't finished it, but that was pretty decent. Rohan says, "What are your thoughts? The Justice Department approving Paramount acquisition on the merger, Warner Brothers. I do not like this." Yeah, no one likes it. Hopefully they're not able to... Let's hope they're not able to get it put through. I think there's other things that could happen to stop it. Let's hope it doesn't end up happening. Who else but big money? Disney could get Taylor Swift to do a song for Toy Story 5. Yeah, I don't like that they're doing that. Sounds like they're taking... It sounds like a cheap shot to get people to come to see that movie, that does, making Taylor Swift involved. Even though people would all go to watch Toy Story anyway. Joshman says, "I would definitely not want to sit through Twilight of the Gods due to how horrible the writing is. Zack Snyder was just being a creep for that show. Definitely one of the worst on Netflix." Yep. Mirabali, I don't know. The Middle or Jimmy Eat World? Probably. Because they did The Middle. Did they do The Middle? I'm not good with bands. I've told people this. I love music from composers. You ask me those, I'll be able to give you names, but with bands, not really. Eric, have you heard of the Star Trek? Yes, I have. He hates the Disney live-action remakes like you. Yeah, I'm glad to hear someone does. Eric, are you going to be seeing Toy Story 5 and do a video on it this upcoming weekend when it comes out? I'll try. Probably I'll do a quick movie review. That's what my... thoughts are that I think I'll be doing a quick movie review. Okay, guys, I think that's basically it. That's our time. We went overtime there. So yeah, guys, I had a great, lovely time as always doing these live streams with you. I hope you had a great time. And yeah, I'm gonna get back to editing the versus video. So look after yourselves, take care, and I'll catch all of you on our Discord watch party next week where we'll all see each other and talk. And that'll be here. And they typically go on for a few hours because we really have a fun time talking and chatting and watching movies together. So, all right, guys, I'll catch you next week. It'll probably be a Supergirl watch party for that previous Supergirl movie in anticipation of the new Supergirl movie. So, love you guys. I'll catch all of you next time. Take care.